Yeah, did you watch the episode where Tulsi Gabbard got on to defend herself? And Joy Behar starts panicking, going over her notes while Tulsi is refuting everything that she said.
Yeah, I mean, Joy Behar, like, again, these people have dementia. These are people who, like, should not be allowed out of the house. They have a national platform. I mean, it is crazy. They have no idea. These people have never read, like, a book.
I agree with mostly everything that's been said. I mean, we know that, only about 31% of Americans trust our healthcare system. We have a terrible healthcare system. And, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained to.
Sunny Hostin just slipped on a $450 million banana peel. And it's got her spinning faster than a View hot take gone viral. Her husband is smack in the middle of a fraud scandal, so colossal, it makes Bernie Madoff look like a penny thief. Before she could even summon her signature shocked face. Joe Rogan and Bill Maher came swinging from two separate ideological universes to light up her credibility like a fireworks show over a Ponzi scheme. One brought the forensic breakdown, the other brought the flamethrower. Spoiler alert, neither brought tissues. So what exactly did they say? And why does Sunny look like she's prepping for a courtroom drama where she's both the judge and the defendant? Buckle in, this crash landing is louder than her husband's offshore bank.
It's random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
Reigning queen of couch top morality, Sunny Hostin is now learning the hard way that karma doesn't care about hair and makeup, while she's been busy wagging fingers at the rest of us from the plush perch of The View, delivering sermons on ethics and law like she's Lady Justice in heels. Her own household was allegedly playing fast and loose with federal finance laws, like Monopoly on steroids. Only this Monopoly ends with handcuffs, not hotels. Her husband's now starring in a real-life financial thriller with a $450 million price tag and a federal indictment to match. Turns out, all those lectures on virtue were just well-lit background noise for a family drama more crooked than a Wall Street
The Sunny Hostin that we all love from one of my favorite shows on The View. And it's always, Tom, what'd you always say? It's always the people that always do the pointing, and it always comes back to them, all right? So when you said, this is the largest RICO case ever filed in the state of New York. You guys, wrap that around your brain. That's bigger than the mafia case. Like, the mafia one was number one. This one takes it over. So he was scamming insurance companies.
Yes, you read that correctly. $450 million. Not a typo, not an accounting oversight, not even an ambitious IRS audit. That's the kind of number that makes hedge funds blush and Ponzi schemes sit up and take notes. While Sunny was tossing around legal takes like free samples at Costco, her spouse allegedly turned fraud into an art form, complete with secret accounts, creative invoices, and a stunning refusal to acknowledge anything resembling an honest tax form. It's not just ironic, it's Olympic-level hypocrisy. While she was preaching the gospel of accountability on daytime TV, the FBI was reportedly drawing up receipts that read like a screenplay for Catch Me If You Can.
She is not implicated in the lawsuit at all, but it's just, I mean, you're married, Tom, you're married. If your husband's doing something, if he's allegedly doing something like this, you guys would know if your wives were up to some nefarious stuff. Let's just not forget who she is. She's been, for years, lecturing America about morality, inequality, systemic failures, and look at her track record. How many times has she had to go on in the past 2 months and look at the camera and do a legal apology for all the stuff that she said on the show? And then she also, on Trump's win, calling the loss because of uneducated white women that Trump won.
We have to know that this is accused.
All accused. Yeah, all accused, but he's in the RICO. This is a big RICO case that are...
Not exactly a fan of teacups and polite conversation. Joe is more like the guy who invites a neuroscientist and a flat earther to dinner just to watch the sparks fly. So when he got wind of this scandal, he didn't just raise an eyebrow, he lit the whole damn bonfire. Rogan torched Sunny's public image with his trademark flamethrower sarcasm, treating her moral persona like it was a punching bag at an MMA gym. And let's just say, he didn't pull his punches. To him, this wasn't just a headline, it was a full-blown credibility implosion, and he was there to narrate the detonation.
Well, I had a different question, but it struck me that in the first segment you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're.
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected. So, I just the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
Situation like it was a cage match. He started by spotlighting the towering irony. A legal analyst whose own household might have been ground zero for a white-collar crime lab. You couldn't script that kind of irony without getting rejected by HBO for being too on the nose. But Joe didn't stop at the scandal itself. It was the media's sudden vow of silence that really made his blood boil. The very same view that sets off moral alarms over celebrity tweets and red carpet mishaps suddenly morphed into a mime troupe when one of their own hit Legal Turbulence. Rogan couldn't help but call out the double standard. Had this been a conservative influencer, a Trump donor, or anyone without a blue-check shield, there would have been panels, countdown clocks, dramatic music, and possibly a View-branded courtroom sketch artist. Instead, crickets. Joe dragged the elite liberal hypocrisy through the mud, mocking the selective outrage and reminding his audience that these TV moralists only play hardball when it's not their family on the field.
I get it. I also hate Joy Behar. So I don't love you, but I also hate that squawking bird. So I hate the whole thing. And frankly, that show, you want to talk about a show that set women back, is The View. You want to talk about that show, if the CIA is engineering, Antifa and fucking the Capitol riot, some crazy misogynist engineered The View. Because there's nothing worse than The View. In terms of there are so many brilliant women out there. None of them are on The View. None of them have gone near the set of The View. I mean, they have brought in the lowest tier of the, what is it, the Y chromosome? No,
Double
the
X.
Okay.
Double X.
They brought in the lowest of the double X's for that one. It's
Just when you thought the roast couldn't get any more layered, Bill Maher stepped in like a tuxedoed surgeon ready to perform a comedic autopsy. No yelling, no table pounding, just razor-sharp wit, delivered with a knowing smirk. Maher, ever the maestro of cynical commentary, used his HBO pulpit to dissect the scandal like a tired professor who's seen this assignment plagiarized 1,000 times before. His point wasn't just that Sunny's brand took a hit, it was that her entire public identity, built on being morally and intellectually superior, had been exposed as hollow. He mocked the idea of a legal expert being blindsided by a legal debacle in her own home, comparing it to a weatherman getting soaked by surprise rain. Maher didn't need fire and fury. His detached amusement did more damage than a screaming headline ever.
But Whoopi Goldberg, because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week
Yeah,
before.
sure.
So everybody was like, "Oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma." First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week, teaser. But there is no fucking thing as karma, okay? Get over that. Whoopi attacks me on a regular basis. She says stupid shit on a regular basis. They just happen to coincide.
If the roles were reversed. If a conservative pundit's spouse got caught orchestrating a $450 million fraud scheme, Sunny would have led the daytime charge with graphics, tears, and a teleprompter full of righteous rage. But now that it's her own family in the legal furnace, suddenly, it's all stutters and shuffled cue cards. Maher sipped on that hypocrisy like it was aged bourbon. He let the silence speak volumes while pointing out the absurdity of The View's moral compass going missing the minute one of their own became headline bait. What made this whole saga so rich was the convergence. Maher and Rogan, two men who can barely agree on what day it is, landed on the same conclusion. Rogan, the sledgehammer. Maher, the scalpel. Both cutting into the same bloated balloon of media self-righteousness, exposing the rot inside with devastating flurnicks to fist and toe, while Sunny performed the quietest non-reaction in television history. Rogan and Maher filled in the silence with style, venom, and just enough sarcasm to power an entire week of late-night monologues. Rogan painted the press as cowardly enablers, while Maher framed them as moral gymnasts doing backflips over the truth. Together, they exposed the media elite's favorite pastime, selective amnesia. Meanwhile, The View, the supposed temple of topical debate, acted like nothing was burning. No mention of the elephant in the studio. No discussion of the federal fire raging just outside camera view. The most self-righteous table in daytime suddenly developed laryngitis. It was like watching a building collapse while the tour guide insists it's just planned renovation.
Show.
but it's fun to watch. It's just fun to watch them.
It's good entertainment.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Well, they're just, it's interesting because I think Sunny is very intelligent, but she's ideologically captured.
Right.
That's sort of. I think the other ones, there's a couple of the other ones don't have to name any names. Are just very dull-minded. But I think Sunny's not one of them. I think she's smart but captured.
Sure. I think she came into it with an agenda.
Of course. They do everything with an agenda.
Yeah.
Beauty of this tag team takedown, it wasn't a hit job, it was just painfully accurate comedy. You didn't need Reddit sleuths or a whistleblower, just a pulse and a brain. The facts were there, the optics were brutal, and Sunny's silence was deafening. This is a woman who made a career out of translating legalese into digestible outrage, now conveniently mute when the legal heat lands in her own foyer. Rogan framed it as a lesson in unchecked ego. Maher is a tragicomedy where the punchline is self-delusion. Together, they unveiled the collapse of a media moral scheme that had been teetering for years. The ones at the top are now doing their best impression of a confused waiter in a 5-alarm. Fire pretending everything's fine as the walls burn.
Interesting that it's wrong. I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's the view.
Well,
that's the problem in America.
But
there is one view,
right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit in the corner.
That's correct. I think that's not
Real punchline. When scandal finally knocks on the door of those who sermonize for a living, the entire set turns into a mime act. No one had to dig for dirt. It was already gift-wrapped with a bow. Rogan and Maher didn't create the hypocrisy, they just highlighted it. If media self-righteousness were a reward program, Sunny would be racking up platinum points. And if avoiding accountability were a sport, The View just took home gold. That tabuishly serving up fresh indignation by the platter has gone, suspiciously silent, like a dinner party pretending not to notice a rat in the punch bowl. Somewhere in the back, you can hear the ABC production staff nervously whispering, "Okay, today let's talk about criminal justice reform, but steer clear of any husbands currently out on..."
Are you on The View?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's been overwhelming my past couple days. So I just went in there, did my thing. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know who Sunny Hostin was. I actually still really don't know. So I wasn't expecting necessarily for her to kind of try to ambush me in that way and attack my character in that way.
Well, it is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true.
They get so much hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean,
yeah.
it is a rabies-infested...
Hostin, legal analyst by title and silence specialist by crisis, vanished right when the legal part of her role became relevant. The irony writes itself. But this isn't just a one-off. It's a symptom of something deeper. We're now in an era where accountability has terms and conditions. If you're part of the favored ideological tribe, the rules get blurry. Suddenly, speaking truth to power becomes, let's not make things awkward at brunch. Enter Rogan and Maher again, invited, unfiltered, and deeply unimpressed. They didn't come to play safe or offer gentle critiques. They came with torches and scalpels, because someone had to say what the polite class wouldn't. If your career is built on moral authority, your personal life better not read like the opening chapter of a federal indictment. Yet here we are, watching a $450 million plot twist shake the entire charade.
This is not really their audience. Their audience is a group of people they bring in to watch television shows. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen audiences before for TV shows, but a lot of them are paid. They're paid to be there. So, because they have to guarantee that there's going to be people there. So there's services that you hire. And when a show gets really, really popular, you know, like Letterman or something like that, obviously it has its own fan base.
Right.
Those people will try to get tickets before anybody else does. And in that case, they probably don't need to use a service anymore. They just get actual fans. But arguably, like, the fans, the real fans of The View that are like, oh, these ladies are on point. Most of those people can't leave the house. Like, they're probably,
right.
Point. The View couldn't find a moral compass if you handed them GPS coordinates and a flashlight. That needle isn't spinning its break. And here's the final roast. When Joe Rogan and Bill Maher, two men who rarely share a sentence, let alone a worldview, come together to mock your hypocrisy. The problem isn't partisanship, it's you. Sunny's scandal didn't just trip the alarm on public ethics. It blew a hole through the entire theater of daytime sanctimony. It's not just one pundit's private mess, it's a full-on demolition of the media's carefully curated illusion of moral superiority. And as the lights flicker on that stage, all we're left with is the undeniable truth. the louder they preach. The quieter they get when it's their own house in flames.